Good morning, everyone, and it is once again a beautiful morning here in the bush. Welcome to Djuma and Aratuza Game Reserves on the Sabi Sands. Welcome to Wild Earth, and welcome on the Jigga for the game drive. My name's Pieter Pretorius, and I'm really excited. As sunrise, nice and crisp air, not cold, but just perfect temperature. And of course, like always in the morning, you've got this whole new sort of day ahead of you. New tracks, new animals to find, new things to see, new things to understand. So really looking forward to the morning, looking forward to the day as well. And yeah, for most of you, it is already Sunday, even if it is very, very early morning Sunday. Happy Mother's Day. As I said, we all have one thing in common, every single one of us, and that's that we all have a mother. So that's a really special day to share with you as well, and look forward to both this morning's drive and, of course, a great drive this afternoon. Looking forward to that as well, and a fireside chat again. So thanks for joining us. And in control as well is, or shall I say in the control room, is Will Fox, Nikki, Tara, Alex, the whole team, guys. Thank you very much. Pleasure to be here. And that's about it. I think we're just going to sit here for maybe the next half an hour or so and just watch the sunrise because it's very beautiful. Or we might just go look around. But let's have one more look at that. That is very pretty. Oh, Brian, I'm going to get a little bit... Brian and myself just want to just look really pretty earlier. We had this leaf going straight through the sun, and I think I'll do it with that one. Give me a second. I'm just going to put it right on the tip of that leaf. There, how's that? There we go. We are in Africa. Every new day is something exciting to look forward to, and every game drive is guaranteed to give at least one, if not many, surprises. As always, great fun to be here. Let's go play. Good news. I mean, it's a small bit of good news. It's not big news yet, but yours, one of the guys that come here often for weekends. He comes on about 6 or 7 weeks a year. Loves the leopard. Very good photographer. Some of you know him. They did have tracks last night for a young male, presumably Kunyuma, brother to quarantine, up towards Chitakatla. Now, east of Chitakatla, so towards the sunrise. We can't go, but west we can. So we're hoping that there are more tracks. Maybe we'll find them today. I would love to see Kunyuma today, seeing as it's our last two game drives for myself and HT for a little while. For you guys, of course, and for me as well. We can come on more drives from wherever we are in the world. So for the next couple of weeks at least, the only way I'll be on game drive will be with you guys, sitting in the back of the Jigga, in the back of Wendy. But for now, we've got a beautiful day ahead.
Good morning, mobile station. Return objective.
Morning, Texan. We're just getting mobile as well. I'm going to be heading Bafuzuk Dam direction. Scott and the guys looking on quarantine. 80, I think, starting Bafuzuk Dam direction.
Okay, copy that. I will try to check around the shortcut to the north and see if I can pick up that sponsor for them. Now that I will have them, let every shortcut and see where they're going.
Cool, guys. Well, that's Texan on the radio in Korma, Texan. Good drive. But I want to quickly say hello to these guys. We always see them the same as this vehicle from only one view. This is the Bloodhound gang. Sorry, I'm put myself in a strange spot there. In a second, I have to show you Stefan's walking legs as well. Guys, that's the Bloodhound gang.
Morning.
Guys, and this is actually an interesting thing just to understand. And there's a lot of things to understand, which some is impossible to explain. But where Steph is sitting, he's not just sitting there because he's not the hood ornament. He's eagle eyes in the front, and he's looking for tracks. So as he's driving along, and you get this a lot in the game drives, he's checking the ground for tracks. If they pick up fresh tracks, let's say there was a fresh leopard track there, they can follow it on from there. And of course, Brent and Scott, 3 of them together, they can track together. The vehicle also plays a big role. In other words, if the 2 guys go off on foot, Brent will be circling the blocks, seeing where they come out, take a little nap around the bush. Sorry, he doesn't take a nap around the bush somewhere. And that's how they find these things, guys. And we really have seen the success of this. It is great fun. It's great teamwork. But also, I must just tell you that the 3 guys there, I love tracking as well. It really is. It's an art. It's like painting or singing. It's not just the science. Once you've got the science down, the art is where the magic happens. So that's what they look like while they're hunting for us. All right, guys, have fun. See you in a bit. Alrighty. Your side, possibly Kunyuma. Cool. I'm heading by Fusuk Dam as well. All right. Hippo track there, but we're not looking for hippos specifically at the moment. Probably gone back down to the dam.
Spectacular. And then right at the end, we were about to pull out, he saw something, stood up on the tree, looked, came down and went for a bit of a run and had it looked like a pretty serious go at something, but he didn't have any success. So I'm going to go over and try and find out where he went. I'm listening to the radio as well. It was a fantastic afternoon, and Elephant with Pete was beautiful. There was loads of things, but that's what it's all about. It's about whatever happens. The script unfolds every day by itself. We're just here. We're just a member of the audience, really, and it's different actors, different players every day, I suppose you could say. Right, if you want to interact with us, and that's the most important thing about Safari Live, is that you can talk to us, you can socially interact, you can send us a tweet or you can send us an email, ask a question, give us a comment, whatever it may be. I might ask you things as well. If we come up to a leopard that I don't know or I can't recognise or identify, I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that know more about these leopard identifications than I do, because you guys watch them regularly, and when I come down, sometimes my old brain forgets the markings. So I really need your help along the way on this. It's the biggest safari vehicle in the world, and you're on board this morning with us, so let's go. So Pete's headed over to Bafusuk Dam. There was talk of line over there, or not over there, but in that vicinity yesterday and last night. And I think the Bloodhound gang, Scott and Steph and Brent, have got their eyes open. They've always got their eyes open for leopard, that's for sure. But when there's talk of line on the property, the lines sort of traverse. There's 2 home ranges that sort of bump into each other here on Djuma and Arathusa. So you never know what could happen, but we've got our resident leopard here. We've got several different leopards that we come in contact with. More often at the moment, Q, Kanyuma, Vula, the father of those 2 over the other side of Moore, Karula, and she's the mother of those guys, the Queen of Djuma, and then also we've got Shadow and her cub, which are coming over from their sort of home range and bumping into Karula's home range. So, and then there's a couple of others as well, Tingana, and haven't seen him for a while. I haven't seen him since November. But it's an interesting thing to have all these leopards in close proximity, and it's a unique situation that's probably going to change at some point when Q and Kanyuma have to find a territory or a home range, Liam's looking very alert out the side of my vehicle here. Our vehicle.
I thought for a moment I saw a lion trap.
I've been with VM on a vehicle before, and I've been driving, and he's just looked to the left. Yeah? Going that direction?
Yep.
Okay. sign tracks out the side of the vehicle here, folks, that Williams has spotted going that way, which is where Pieter's gone. So that's a great sign. Walking down this, what we call a cut line, or a road that's on the edge of a property or a reserve. Got another vehicle just up here. Gotta say hi to Lex. Morning, sir. All right, mate. Morning, everyone. How are you?
Well.
Good, yeah. Going that way, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah. I think Pete's headed that direction as well.
Has he got tracks there?
I'm not sure yet, mate. I haven't been in comms, but I think they did come on last night somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Good luck, mate.
Okay.
Have a great morning,
There
folks.
was a side track jackal calling around Sandy Patch.
Oh, okay.
And I'm sure there must be a little there, but I couldn't pick up any tracks.
Okay.
So maybe
Well, the Bloodhound gang are out there looking, mate.
Okay.
All right, guys. Have a great day, hey? Wonderful man by the name of Lex Hess, famous photographer, and written many a book. Really great guy, and he's got a group of photographic sort of students here, or on a photographic workshop, and it's just lovely when you come through these parts of the world, all the different people you meet, all the wonderful people you meet that are all here for the same thing, like you, the passion and the enthusiasm for wildlife, and you're all here to help each other. You're all here to get these beautiful sightings and have these encounters with wildlife. It's a real sharing experience. It's a big family, and you're part of it, so it's a really nice feeling. What to do? I'm going to ask Liam. Left or right, buddy? Left. Okay. I have the word from the master at the back there. My eyes in the sky. We've been driving along this road once years back. Oh, years back. 7 months ago. Sorry, that's not years back. And I was driving, looking out this way. Liam was looking out this way, and sure enough, Liam just saw a tail flick up in the air, and we found full-bellied lions lying down on a buffalo kill, and VM spotted them, and that's just that single little look somewhere, some direction. You see a tail flick, or you'll just see an ear or something like that, and it does feel quite good. That was a great spot. Question from Sarah. Thank you, Sarah, and welcome aboard. You'd like to know what animal I'd like to see on my last drive for this stint this afternoon. You probably all think I'm going to say leopard or lion, because you know what I'd really like to see this afternoon? I'd really like to see giraffe.
Brian very quickly recognized him as well, which is cool. We're going to get closer to him, because this is that same Ellie that we actually had quite a nice time with yesterday. He came right up to us in front of the vehicle. He was in what looked like full mush yesterday. He's not as sort of in the swing of things at the moment, if you know what I mean. The must displays that the dribbling, the urine dribbling, and the temporal secretions, those dark lines you get on the side of the face. Not seeing it as heavily, but I'm sure it's the same Ellie. Looks like him, the one tusk that's missing. And he was really interesting yesterday. He had a great sort of attitude about him. So we're going to spend some time with him to give an idea of the sort of the setting. It's beautiful. Again, I'm going to say this a lot for the next half an hour or so. Just lovely sunlight, almost no wind, so the water is just about a perfect mirror. And apart from a little bit of bird life, there's a heron and a few lapwings. It's a quiet, peaceful waterhole. Even the elephant is drinking slowly. going to spend a bit of time with him. As I mentioned, he was a very interested elephant yesterday as well. He was a little bit curious about us. He had a great way about him. I really liked him. So we are going to spend some time here.
Texan.
Get to know him a little bit better. And with it, there's the added benefit of this time of the morning. It's often a great idea to spend a bit of time around the waterhole, because it's not impossible for anything really to just arrive here suddenly. So we're going to spend time with him and see what else might be surprising us at the waterhole.
Negative. I was just wondering if you had any updates. I left him yesterday with Andrew, and I just wondered if you had any updates.
Hello, Gal. It's just, I was going to follow him, but we have to go all the way around the dam. So let's just first see where he goes. Gal, you're just wondering if those tusks keep growing. We had a similar question yesterday asking about the tusks once they've broken out. Now this guy, up close, we had a look, and his right tusk is actually broken out in the root. So that tooth or that tusk won't grow back at all. But Gail, with your question, that the tusks do keep growing their whole life. So unless they damage the tusk severely, elephant, bulls and cows, the tusks keep on growing. And especially with the bulls in the sort of mid to late 30s, the tusks actually start to grow faster as well. So that's why you get obviously the really old bulls with the big tusks, because not only do the tusks keep growing, but they actually grow faster the older they get. Okay, let's see. I remember years ago there used to be a little sneaky way we could get up into that bank. I'm sure we can still find it up. Back then you could do it as a normal game drive vehicle, so for the Jigga we should be able to do it quite easily. Anymore. We'll take the longer way around. No, I've tried. Oh, another Ellie. It's the same as a human losing a tooth and not fixing it if it's possible. So it's just a little gap in his teeth, and he only has one tusk left. He doesn't need the tusk for survival, although it is obviously handy. They can use it for fighting as well. The bulls, a little bit of a disadvantage for him with that, but the tusk is not crucial to his survival. But he's still got another one left, so he can still break twigs and branches and things off with it. The big guy's moved on. We're going to find him just now, but another guy has also just joined. This is a younger bull, not as big. Always very relative to say an elephant is not big. Even a small elephant is big, but relative to that other guy, this is not a very big elephant. Listen to the game drive radio. The other guys out there looking around as well. Texan from Juma Lodge, Voitela, Lex as well, Lex S. Everyone enjoying the morning out there. You can perfectly see how it works now. Trunk gets stretched out, the water sucked up into the trunk, up to a few gallons even, depending on the size of the elephant's trunk. And then it's sort of poured back or blown back, if you want, into the mouth. Something I always find amazing, and it's something that's not common to see, certainly not in these parts where there's relatively sort of ample water available. But some of the desert elephants, we've got these elephants in Namibia that live in the northwestern parts, Damaraland, Gahokuveld, beautiful places, truly still wild frontiers. And we've got these desert elephants there, which are the same elephants. I mean, they're not a different kind of elephant. They've just evolved over the millennia to live in that area. And what they do, when they sometimes can't get water for longer than a day, typically elephants like to drink once a day, but up there they go sometimes 2 days, 3 days without drinking. And the mothers or the adults will put their trunks down their throat into their stomach. I've heard them where they're just blowing their nose, so to speak, where they just go. So a sneeze would be hilarious. That guy's having a bit of a dust bath there. Nice. Early morning powder. That's what's so great about waterholes. I mean, we've been here now, I don't know how long it's been, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, something like that, maybe 20 at the most. There's been 2 elephant here, and they've come and they've gone in that time. Always shows you, it could just be 2 seconds. If we arrive now, there's no elephant. A few seconds sometimes can make the difference between finding something or just finding beautiful space. It's gotten a little bit. We'll see if old One Tusk is around. If he's moved on, we're not going to pursue him too much. But there's a little track up here that I want to take out anyway, and I think he might be moving along that same track. So, quick look. Excuse me. There goes the heron. The heron. It's got a nice view of him. We can get a little twig frame around him if we aim it right. That's a grey heron. Forward. Watching the early morning sunlight up there, but he just flew up into the tree. I think because we came moving along, he decided to give himself a bit of space. Grey heron, of course, a bird that you see worldwide. It's one of the widest, most widely spread birds in the world. Hold on a little bit. So look, we're literally on top of the tracks now. This is where One Tusk walked. And there is his footprint. There we had a dust bath. All the little bits of sort of information he leaves behind. does look like he was sort of just walking. It doesn't look like he was sitting around too much other than the dust bars. So he might have headed off already. Along this footpath. The animals make footpaths the same as humans make little roads for cars. There is a perfect example of an animal footpath. You can see running off into the bush. Now this one is nice and wide because it's close to the waterhole. It means many different animals will use it. And amongst those, elephant a lot, as well as hippos, and they make these nice wide sort of footpaths to walk along. Animal would I like to see or love to see before the last drive is over, which will be this afternoon. I mean, the last drive for this time, let's leave it at that. Sure, that's actually a good question because I would almost always have said Karula, I guess. And that was my first thought again. I would love to see Karula. I haven't seen her this time around, and it's always nice to see her. She's getting quite old now as well, so we might, she might be around for another year or two, or maybe another 5 or 6 years if we're lucky. So it's not, I mean, she's still got time left, but Karula would be great. I would love to see Kunyuma. I do like that leopard a lot. And then I actually wouldn't mind seeing lion. I haven't seen lion this time around. Just we've had so many leopard sightings. So the Kunyumas were around Kuhumas. Kunyuma is a leopard, and Kuhumas are the lions, the brown ivory tribe. I actually saw them and I would like to see them. So I wouldn't mind seeing lion. But if I could pick one animal to see or one sighting, that would be, let's just call it a leopard sighting. Of which, whether it's Karula, Kunyuma or Q, any of those three, I'd be happy days. I'd love to see Tandi actually. I was very lucky last time to go on a drive. One of the mornings we had a break. I went on an early morning drive with yours. Mentioned him earlier. The guy that loves his photography as well. Lots of elephant tracks here. There you can see the branch on the road as well. Baby elephant, adult elephant, lots of them going this way. It might even be worth a while to follow a little bit. Let's just see. I might go around. We'll do Cheetah Katlan a bit, then come back around to Buffelshoek Dam. Maybe we get that herd there. It seems like a lot of them. There's more tracks. Mahina tracks, busy road. Yeah, so any of those three leopard I'd be very happy with. Turning down Cheetah Katlan, always a great road to check for tracks. And as I said, I think we're going to do a little loop around, maybe 10 minutes or so, and make our way back to Buffelshoek Dam again. It would be lovely to see that herd if they're still around, because it looks like quite a big herd. But we're going to do that, and you're going to enjoy the drive with Hayden for a bit. See you just now.
Folks, we've just been driving around and in the vicinity that we found Q. We left Q last night looking for tracks, and we just saw these. There's it's very difficult to tell. I might just have to get out of the vehicle and point to them for you. I'll just draw a circle around them, and then VM can keep. It's a little bit tricky to actually see them from that direction, but let me just draw this circle. So there's one there, one just there.
Then just go on to the next one.
This one?
Yep.
And there's one there. Okay, folks. And there's another beautiful one just there. Okay. So those tracks are exactly what we're looking for. Sorry, I just walked into your shot then. Exactly what we're looking for. We left him up here. He was heading north, but I think he's heading south.
Stations, non-separation control from a fuzzy Ingrid, Cheetah cut line. Junction bubbles in there, meeting start.
Okay, so you'll hear that radio, folks. You'll also hear that everyone's looking for line this morning. It's all happening. This is how it works. It's very exciting stuff. There's people talking about line on the other side of the reserve. We may have Q as well. Just got to be really careful of these tracks because I don't want to drive over the top of them. Driving over the top of them obliterates the track. And is that them up there in front? Yep. Distance. So there they are, on top of tyre tracks as well, which gives us the indication that they're fresh. There was loads of vehicles around here. Beautiful. Beautiful. I'm trying to just pick up that where we left off, but can you see them out the side there, mate? Folks, I'm just having a bit of a radio issue at the moment, seeing if my comms are plugged in, are connected. Hey, can you just grab that, please, mate? Can't find it. Thanks, mate. Thank you. Apologies about that. So, folks, it's just really about trying to find where the last tracks were. They came down here, and then if you have a look at this terrain now, this terrain here, VM can get a little bit of a close-up for you. I'll duck my head. And you have a look all along here. This is quite hard, all this surface. You still get a nice track over there in that area. And then if you go down around to the pan to the right, VM, you'll start to get harder ground, and it's much more difficult. You don't always get that full track. You get a partial track, and you do have to be able to then conjure up in your head whether it's a line, whether it's whether it's leopard or half a track, or you might just get a corner of a pad or something. It is quite a tricky thing, but it's people like when you walk out with Stefan and Scott and Brent, it's quite an incredible experience to feel their intuition as well. We've all got it. We've all got the intuition, but some people have just got that unbelievable sense of, bang, he's over there. You got it there, hey? Yeah. So just there's the last one we can see. It's really, what I'm going to do is just go and drive down here a little bit and see if we can pick them up again. He might have gone straight on. Question from Tim in Arkansas. Tim, welcome aboard. I'm just pulling up to this little spot here because there's a lovely little hidey hole just here for leopard. We've seen Q in there before. But Tim, your question is whether animals put more, this waterhole's dried up, weight on their front feet or on their back feet. Well, it definitely, it'd be difficult for us to tell with the naked eye. There's some species that, excuse me, you'll get a smaller print. Some animals have got smaller feet on the back. For example, elephant's got a different shaped foot on the back that it has on the front. That's because most of its body weight is on the front. Hyena have got a very, very sort of a back foot that's much more easy to identify than the front. Sorry, that's what I'm trying to say. There is a differentiation between the size of those feet. And then you've got different animals that sort of got different shaped feet, but generally speaking, the first foot that goes down is probably negligible in what we can see with the naked eye. When you're with an expert tracker, they could probably tell you what the animal did and how it did it and why it did it, just from the turn or the depression or the weight on it. So I would say, generally speaking, it's pretty even keeled for weight distribution, but there's some animals that have got different shaped feet. Really good question, mate. That's technical stuff, and that just goes to show that, you know, you're really thinking about what we're doing at the moment and what how animals work and the physiology. So fantastic question. Hopefully I sort of explained that in the sense that evenly distributed, I think, and some have got different shapes feet. Not sure about that because I've just had a bit of information from the Bloodhound gang, and they believe he is over the other side. So we may have missed his track here. He may have turned right instead of left on that hard ground that we can't see. He may have gone off the road and cut through the grassland as well, and the guys think he's along here somewhere. So we'll just head down Twin Dams Way and see what's going on down in Twin Dams anyway, and see if we can get any more information from the guys that are walking in on him or tracking him at the moment. I think with all this information that you pick up, folks, from looking at tracks and signs, and it might be broken branches or dung or whatever it is, it does make you feel like a bit of an investigator. It's quite a great feeling. You feel like you're investigating some sort of little scene that has happened, and you're trying to put all these clues together. It's definitely a fantastic feeling, and you can see what's happened over the road. You can see what's happened in the morning, overnight. I remember once in Namibia, I heard an incredible fight between lions. I heard it from my tent, and I was on a beautiful reserve over in the middle of the country, and I heard this massive lion fight during the night. It was something that I wish I recorded. And then I got up in the morning and I went out with a guide. We went right across to the middle of the reserve, and we saw this incredible scuffle on this road. Lion claws and hair and everything. And to put it, if we wouldn't have heard that fight, obviously we would have known it was a fight because of all the hair. But just putting all those little pictures together, all those bits of the picture, all the pieces of the jigsaw puzzle together, the sound we heard, but then we went out and found it. Oh my goodness, it was like there was clumps of lion hair everywhere, there was a bit of blood on the ground, there was amazing sort of scratch marks on the ground as well, and it was a really incredible thing to investigate, to go around and just walk around it, like a little bit like crime scene investigation. It was really, really interesting. There's a little antelope that's just running through here. I want to go in quietly and see if I can find it for you. Just saw it out of the corner of my eye. It's a diker, I think, and I really want to show you one. I can show you pictures there. We've got a little bit. Maybe we can just get a little bit more. Come on. Stop. Stop. Gonna stop. Oh, he stopped just across there. He's walking on. Too far. My elusive diker that I've always wanted to show you. I mean, I'm not bigging him up to say he's like some spectacular antelope or anything like that, but it's a beautiful little antelope that we don't see very often. Leopard, pray for leopard, and they're elusive. They're normally in a pair, and bush. And for English means dive. And that's exactly what they do. They dive through the vegetation, danger. But they love this little thick sort of vegetation where they go through and feed. Excuse me. Andrew, confirm you have Q quarantine visual?
Yeah, just myself here. Actually, come Milwaukee, and yeah, you drive along that river to the north. You find me.
Okay, copy that, mate. We're on our way. We're just behind Twin Dams now, so we will be there shortly.
Okay, great.
Thanks, mate. We have him. Love it. On the road. Okay. I may have to... It's okay, my friend. It's okay, babe. It's okay. Easy. Easy. I'm just a little concerned. I don't want to split Mama up. It's okay, my boy. It's okay, baby. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. No problem. It's all right, baby. It's okay. No problem, darling. No worries. No worries. We're not going to do anything. We just have to get past your herd. And I don't want to upset them down there, so I just want to go around the other way. It's okay. Everything's fine. Okay, we might just have to go around another way because I want to get there as quickly as I can, but there's a lot of elephant down in the drainage line here, and there's a mother and calf very, very close, so I don't want to disturb them. Let's just go around. It might take us a little while longer. I suppose we could go down the other way, mate, couldn't we? Yeah. Okay. Folks, just trying to put two and two together here to find another way around. We've decided we're going to go down the drainage line the other direction. It's all right. Thanks. I would have normally gone through that, but when I say gone through, I gently edged my way through. There's a couple of females there with very, very young babies. They were on the other side of the road. The mothers were on that side of the road. You just don't want to upset the apple cart there, and just want to show respect, of course. And that female that just gave us a little bit of a display, she was fine. She was absolutely fine. She was just like, that's enough. That's close enough, boys. Will we get under there, mate? Yep. Okay. Just bear with me, folks. We're just going to have to put the antenna down for a second to get through here. That's going to put it into low range. I'm travelling down a drainage line now, folks, so it's dry dry riverbed. Very, very sandy. We've got it in low range. In second gear, you've got to keep the momentum up. And we'll make our way. We should see Andrew somewhere here.
Coming to us?
Hey?
Coming to us?
Already in?
Mm-hmm.
Well, guys, very good news, I guess good and bad news. Bad news, we haven't found her yet. But very good news, we've got fresh leopard tracks, female, almost certainly Karulas. We found it up on Cheetah Cutline, I mentioned to you earlier. Oh, no, I didn't actually. We found it just after we went to Hayden. Down Cheetah Cutline for a ways, cut into the block, came down this other road called Mvubu Walk-Up Road or Hippo Walk-Up Road. Coming back, I just want to see where she's drunk. I'm guessing somewhere on this side. The tracks are fresh enough that we could literally just suddenly find her. She could be close by. I thought she could have just moved into the vicinity, but she is around. We've got the which I'm sure that name's going to catch on, Bloodhound Gang. It does have a certain ring to it, but Scott, Brent, and Stefan are also going to come and help follow up, so we can check the different blocks better, check if any tracks come out the other side. It's so beautiful around the waterhole there. Just looking for tracks down there. Quiet, it's lovely. Where's my butter? I think for now this is more on footwork, and much as I'd love to take you for a walk, we can do that with Stefan, so when they get you, maybe you can get on foot with him. Don't want to drive around here too much because it's just going to cover up tracks, but basically came down from there, had a drink there. Just think, where should we go check? We can go check a little bit up what used to be called Jack's Road. I forgot what it's called now. In the last hour or two, Karula came walking past. Let me show you. I circled one or two tracks earlier just to make it easy to find for Stefan and them, although you're not going to see too clearly if you look at that one.
Actually, he's in the middle of the handle.
There you can see the sort of the paw mark. That would be the pad if you want. The toes, I mean, this is quite hard soil, so you don't see the track. This is not sort of the one that I'd normally use to show you because it's not as clear. There's another one which is similar as well. You can just see the pad mark. That one's a little bit better. Again, there's the pad mark, and the toes would be 1, 2, 3, 4 toes heading our way. Let's see. Great fun tracking leopard as well. I mean, a lot of skill aspect to it. I mean, elephants are maybe a bit easier, but the actual tracking of a leopard, really trying to get into that mindset of what was the leopard up to, what was she doing at the time. It looks like she was sort of just walking along, I guess looking for, call it random hunting opportunities, and then she would have come down for a drink. And then when you're tracking them on foot, there is that excitement aspect now. Knowing these leopard in the area, and they've also all grown up with some kind of, sorry guys, I'm really trying to check every possible spot here. They do grow up with exposure to people and to trackers. So the danger element, the danger element is certainly very real. But at the same time, these leopard are used to people on foot, so they normally just give you a little growl or a warning if you get too close and you don't see them. You just see them moving away. Nonetheless, if you're on foot through the bush, any second there could be a leopard standing a few feet away from you. It certainly does get the blood coursing through the veins in a very nice way. Just going to do a little loop around. It'd be great if we could find her as well. Q is there where HT and them are. Looks like he's going to stick around the sort of Twin Dams area for the day. Awesome. Kunuma hasn't popped out yet, but that could happen. That is a log. And then I still want to chat to the guys from Artuza a bit later and see if there's not any news on Shadow. In fact, I might even try now. I think we might be a little bit far away. Let's try. Good morning, guys. Any station in the west, Artuza area that can copy? Maybe we're lucky, although we are on sort of the far end from that area, so the radio comms don't always reach us only when you get closer to the area. We've got different radio stations for different areas as well, so there's lots of different communication avenues to be used. Any station in the west, any Artuza station that copy? No, we'll try later again. We just having such a nice chat about that feeling of being on foot. It really is great. I mean, being on foot in the bush is a beautiful experience in itself. And then, of course, when you find some big game, whether it's leopard or any of the other big guys, there is an exciting aspect that goes with that. So enjoy the experience. Stefan is going to show you around a little bit on foot, and we'll see you back in a bit. Elephant.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Sunrise Bushwalk with myself, Stefan, and Scott. We've been walking around this morning, following up on alarm and distress calls of all types of animals over the evening. There was zebra, we saw a hyena with their tails up this morning. We've been trying to find what's been going on. There has been some lion tracks in the area, but unfortunately they did cross north out of our traverse. It's not too much of a problem. They always come back, and I'm sure we'll pick them up at some point. Now, we stopped to move some branches out of the road, and we heard crackling in the bush. Now, elephant this time of the year start to eat a lot of woody material, which is... Oh, there's a lot of elephant around this area. I'm just hearing elephants screaming, crackling everywhere. Actually quite camouflage things, elephants, I must be honest with you. We're going to get into the shady bits here and we'll stop in it. It's just a Franklin. Oh, we've got elephants screaming all around us. You may be able to pick it up faintly on your ear. Not close enough to be a worry. So for those of you concerned with our safety, don't worry. They're far away still. one direction. We're going to hear, this is about where we got, this is around about where we got the noise from the trees breaking from. As you can see, trees broken down. Let's go and have a look. I've got some movement here, but I think it's that Franklin that we speak to. Don't forget that you can send questions via the hashtag SafariLIVE on Twitter, or email them through to questions@wildearth.tv. We've come out on a road. We can see if he crossed over or not. Elephant can move incredibly quiet when they want to. They've got big, thick pads of fat on their feet. And these pads, they can actually lift up and deform, very similar to how our feet work. And that way they can move very quietly over sticks. So myself and Scott are just listening here, seeing if we can hear any more breaking branches. He's not far away. So Liz in Wisconsin. Hi Liz, isn't it amazing we can speak to you from all the way around the world? Good question. What am I wearing on my feet? So, these are anklets. They stop my socks from getting grass seeds and thorns stuck in them. Luckily, I don't have my pink socks on today, hey, with the tennis ball at the back. And really just, I don't wear big boots and I don't wear big thick socks. My feet just get too warm while we're walking out here. So I wear short shoes plus an anklet to stop the grass seeds from trying to cut my feet off. Let's carry on. I'm walking on the road here. It's quieter than crashing around through the bush. Looking for signs of these elephant that we heard. No. Good morning, Lucy. Welcome all the way from Indiana. You asked a very nice question. It's a good question. How much does the pack weigh that Scott's wearing? Probably weighs about 16 kilograms, which is about 30 to 35 pounds. So while it doesn't sound that heavy, he's also got a camera that he's carrying around in his hand. And the camera plus the backpack probably weighs in the region of about 40 pounds. But as you may or may not know, Scott's a big, strong boy and can handle most things, although he does moan his shoulders get sore by the end of the day, which is rightly so. I honestly think that these elephants have moved across the road. What do you think?
I think you're right, Steph.
I think they've crossed over the road. I'm not hearing anything coming from this side. And the bush just gets thicker towards the drainage line side. So I think what we're going to do is cut in towards the drainage line and see what we can see. I don't hear any crashing anymore, which is a bit of a worry because to try and track elephant without bushes breaking is quite difficult. But anyway, we're going to give it a bash. Come walk with us. We go through some of this thick bush. We're going to be a bit more careful because it's getting thicker, but not to worry. Those of you just joining the show, so folks, I see that Scott and I through this bush are going to have to start bending and going crazy now, and with the aerial on, I'm scared that we lose you. So what we're going to do is we're going to be crossing over and we'll catch you with an update as soon as we find anything. So we'll keep on looking. Rest assured, we're safe and sound. You're in good hands. And we'll see you in a little bit.
So what we did, folks, is went down that drainage line and then... Is there anything behind me, Pieter? Yeah. I'm just reversing up at the moment to try and reposition. We've got a beautiful breeding herd of elephants here, and they were in the drainage line, so we had to wait for them to go. There was more elephants that made us go around the other way. We went down the drainage line, hit more elephants again, and Q was in the middle of those elephants. Now, he's scattered somewhere and is hiding because elephants and leopards aren't the best of friends. Not that the elephant's worried, but it is a predator. So I just want to go up, and whilst he's sort of getting settled, there's more elephants down there. We've got to wait for them to pass. I just want to go up and have a look at these elephants. They're just too beautiful to drive past, that's for sure. There's a beautiful breeding herd here. Very, very relaxed females. The matriarch, beautiful big female up here ahead, and these little youngsters as well. So it might be nice just to drive into here and have a little look at them. Hello, my boy. There we go. There we go. It's okay. It's okay. No problem. Look at that. Look at the strength of this animal pushing this tree up. The elephant is behind there, and there's an adult female. You can see that massive trunk just at the fork of that tree. And there she goes. And she's pulled that down. She just wants those tender young shoots off the ends of the branches, or potentially roots. But look, her offspring is that little one there, revealed just there. That's her baby. And he's small enough to fit underneath her. So fantastic. This little guy's quite funny. He's a real character, this little one. He's a bit bigger than his cousin. Lovely to see them walk through the bush at their own leisure, eating as they go, at bush smorgasbord, that buffet of vegetation that they have, all eating different things, some grass, some leaves. And there's more yet to come. That little baby is so beautiful through there. You can see the only place on that elephant, the elephants that they have hair, is sort of around their tail, that very, very coarse hair at the end of their tail there. There's a fine, fine hair all over their body, but it wears down in places. And then they've got a little sort of hair follicle, hair tuft around the entrance to their ear, and that stops dirt and the light going in there. Just move up a little bit closer. Always just keeping your eyes open when you're around elephants. There's elephants all around here, up behind us, but this herd is very, very relaxed, and we have no dramas here whatsoever. Hey, my boy. I like to it might be just a weird little thing that I do, but I like to just let them know that I'm here and talk away as I come and approach them. Hey, my boy. It just gives them a little bit more of an understanding that we're here. Maybe it's nothing, but it works for me. There's a female there just having a dust bath. Hours a day. Browsing through the vegetation line. Just repositioned for us for a better shot. Really nice to get a picture of these babies. That little guy there, those two are quite beautiful. To talk about the smells that we can smell, there's loads of different species of herbs through here, or sort of smaller herbaceous type of plants, as well as mixed with all the trees and the grasses, and they're stirring that up as they walk, ripping things off, using that trunk to grab handfuls of it and put it back up into their mouth. But as they do that, they unleash or unlock the wonderful scents of this vegetation. And following an elephant herd in this sort of habitat is really quite beautiful, because it's not just a visual extravaganza for you, it's also a bit of a sensory overload. You get those beautiful smells, you also get the scent of the elephant, and it is a really great feast for the senses. Plus just this incredible calmness and quietness as well. And all you hear is basically vegetation being either ripped up or chewed or broken, but they move on the ground silently. So that's a big, beautiful female. She came up behind our vehicle earlier and was completely relaxed. That's her young star, that really tiny little one. and she just walked behind us and left us. No problem in the world, completely relaxed and completely conditioned or habituated to us, and know that we're not any threat to her or her offspring. Just want to get in a bit closer to watch her eating. This is quite incredible. Anything like giving up on Q, the leopard. We're just waiting for the elephants to move off from that area, and then we're going to go back down and find him. But we just thought we'd come and watch these elephant whilst the rest of the herd are moving through.
Thank you, Pieter. The only one. I'm sure it's over there. You see the house that is coming through. Okay, continue.
Now, this is an interesting question from Debbie in Connecticut. Debbie, welcome aboard and thanks for being with us this morning. Very interesting question, which I actually don't know the answer to, but I'm going to have an uneducated guess on it. And Debbie wants to know whether elephants have hair and like tiny hairs inside their nose, their nasal cavity, up their trunk, like humans do. And many other mammals. My guess is yes, and I would say that most mammals have some form of small or fine hairs to trap dust and dirt and foreign particles going up in the nasal cavity. But it might be able to be clarified by or verified, by some people. If some people can give us a hand, I'd love to get a text or a tweet, a tweet or an email from you to just make sure that is correct. Debbie, it's a really great question, and I'm going to learn something today from that. Okay, folks, I think we just got to have a really quick link to Steph. We're going to cross over to Steph. There might be something really exciting. I'll come back to you just now. How am I there, mate? Yeah. No. Stick. Okay, coming back. Folks, sorry about those crashes. We just had a signal break up and drop out this morning with Steph. We lost sound there, so we've just come back to where we are.
Quarantine site, that side.
One of the things I wanted to show you was what she's doing right now, and elephants will do this quite often. They'll break down a branch. They break down a branch. We are going to cross to Steph, folks. I'll come back to it, but she's got like a branched lollipop in her mouth at the moment, and she will walk with that for potentially a kilometre chewing it. Anyway, let's cross to Steph, and I'll come back to you just now.
Welcome back, everyone. We finally found that elephant we wanted to show you. He's standing just in the distance over there. I'm sorry for ripping you away from your sighting that you were at, but we just thought that we'd share this magical moment with you. Sharing the bush with the majesty of an elephant is just something unbelievable. That rumbling that you just may have heard there, that was him contacting. There's a lot of elephant in this area. We're hearing their trumpeting all the time, but we can only see him. He's a bull elephant. And so far unaware of our presence here. Now we used some cover to get to him. We're standing on the other side of a tree we were using to approach. And between us and him, is a fallen down tree, as you no doubt can see. It just gives us a bit of security. It's in no way a barrier. These animals can obviously just rip that out of the way, but everything in the bush is about respect. And at the moment, we're respecting his size. He doesn't know that we're here, which is a good thing. Busy eating that bush. He's slowly been moving. Scott and I actually tracked him by sound. For those of you who are watching a little bit earlier, it's how we find elephants on foot. We find them by using sound. He's not a very old elephant, I would say. He's anywhere between 15 and 25 years old. I'm not the best person. I'm not the best person to judge elephant age. They tend to blur. I know a young elephant and an old elephant and a mature elephant. I'd say he's anywhere from 15 to 25. And if the money question would probably be around 20, in his early 20s. So, it's always good to have an escape plan with an elephant. Generally, to high ground is the best. But we've got some big gullies around us. Not too much of a worry. I got audio of some more elephant. He's probably with a herd. Young guy that's just trailing it. Now folks, to stand in the bush 50 meters away from something as big as an elephant is just magic. You really feel how small and insignificant we are. If it wasn't for our brains and our adaptability, we'd be a lot lower down on the food chain than what we are. We're going to see if we can get you a bit closer around the tree. Looks like he's going to be making his way to the herd of elephant and not to us, so I'm fairly certain that he's heading in this direction and that we can go around the shade and see him a bit better. So we're going to try and move and see if we can do it without losing you. He's heard us. I am going to keep quiet. He doesn't know we're here, but he definitely suspects some movement. Back to eating again, so everything's fine. As a trails guide, you want to keep all your options open. Don't want to be caught in a position where you force the animal to make a decision, or you have to make a decision to fight or to run. At the moment you can see he's eating. Absolutely nothing wrong with where we're standing at the moment. Now, we could could absolutely get a bit closer, but I'm not going to do that. The reason for that is any closer than this, that animal will actually react to our presence. And he'll probably just move away. But to watch him not even care about where we are and carry on with his day is really, truly something very, very special. This time of year, elephants will spend about 16 to 20 hours a day just eating. A big guy like this will be eating roughly 150 to 200 kilograms of food a day and be drinking around about the same amount of liters of water in a day. Scratching his ear with his trunk. Now, if that's all you could see from an elephant was the profile of their head, you'd still be able to tell that this is a bull elephant, because his head is slightly rounded, not angular. You can't really see it from this angle, but giving us the bum shot, so to say. Now, while we're standing here in the presence of this elephant, you're welcome to send us a few questions. You can either send them on Twitter using the hashtag SafariLIVE, or you can email the questions to questions@wildearth.tv. And while we're standing here with this elephant on foot in the Kruger National Park in Tuma Private Game Reserve, myself and Scott will try and answer some of these questions. Okay, move back, down, 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 move up there. So we're just getting some height, guys. Don't worry, everything's still fine. We're creating this. Down, down, down. He's definitely seen us. That's okay, everything's fine. It's a typical head-up display of a bull elephant not knowing what's going on. It's fine. Everything's still fine. There he goes. Still not quite sure of what we're doing. See, listening with all his ears. Everything's still okay, don't worry. Scott is now fine, everything's okay. So he's just busy listening at the moment. There he moves off, everything's safe and sound. Notice the cocktail of that elephant. We're going to leave that elephant alone now. We had a fantastic sighting with him. He came walking towards us. And I think I can raise my voice a little bit now. He came walking towards us. He came down the game path we were standing on. And when he got close enough, he heard Scott and I backing away. I actually don't think that he saw us, to be quite honest. He was just reacting to a noise. Whoa, there's something in my area. Head up, ears out, listening, couldn't hear anything. And then he's made his way away from the disturbance. No trumpeting, no crashing of bushes. Scott and I didn't have to run like hooligans through the bush with urine toes. So everything's 100%. A beautiful, beautiful encounter with a bull elephant on foot. It definitely has my adrenaline going. Scott's got a grin on his face. I can see all his teeth in his mouth. For us, a truly, truly magical experience. So we're going to carry on with our game walk or our bushwalk this morning, and you're going to go back to Pieter. I'm sure he's got something exciting to tell you. Thank you for joining us with this elephant. We'll see you soon.
Well, welcome back this side. We are still at Buffelshoek Dam, as you can see. We just had one buffalo drink, but he's walked off. And we actually came to sit down on the edge of the water here to wait for a breeding herd of elephant that are just up the banks. It looked like they were coming down to drink, and we wanted to sort of wait for them down there, but now they're taking their time. So we're going to take you back to them, just see what they're up to. The trunk end of the herd, I guess. The tail end still following behind. See the young ones keener to get down to the water. It's thirsty work being an elephant. Eating so much food, so many hours of the day. Well, guys, it looks like the ellies are actually popping out now. I'll just give you a bit of a view there. Always nice to see them as they arrive. Imagine if you've been feeding the whole night and you're a little bit thirsty. It must be a great feeling arriving down at the waterhole. Beautiful view. It's like sort of bigger and biggest. That's actually quite a cool view of them. Lovely. Well, they are drinking, and I do believe the rest of the herd will join them as well, so there should be more ellies coming around. I think what we're going to do is we're just going to go around. I want to try and get us lower down, close to water level, just for a different view. We've got beautiful light reflecting onto them as well. They're sort of feeding on the other side, the western side of the waterhole. So we're going to reposition, find a great view. In the meantime, I believe there's something else on cue. Enjoy it. We'll see you back here just now.
Well, folks, bingo. We found the boy. And he's come out of broken cover. It took a little bit of going along this riverbed many times, and we found him. So he was in the little thicket when those elephants were around, and now he's come out. He's much more comfortable. He was just sort of laying low. As I said, elephants are not threatened by a leopard, but what they will be, it's just a predator. It's that smell of a predator, and they're incredibly keen to make sure they look after their babies from any sort of danger. Look at that face. That is one striking looking cat. And he's sort of giving the inclination, or the sort of posturing and the alertness and the acuteness of his senses that are sort of all quite apparent at the moment to give him the look that he's looking at hunting. He's looking for any opportunity that presents itself, I suppose. That's the easiest way to say that. And I'm just picking up, putting all those senses together. He's relaxed, but he's awake, and excuse me, he has only eaten, he probably finished that kudu. Here we go. Let's just see him. Oh, just come a little bit closer, my friend. Oh, that's just fantastic. It really does go to show you, folks, that these animals are just so conditioned and relaxed with us. I mean, he didn't move away from us, he moved closer to us just then. And he's just lying in the shade here, looking right at camera now. What a cat. Any little thing that tickles his fancy, he will start to follow up on. And you can just see the way that he's looking around. And if VM just goes down to the tip of his tail, there's a little flick in that tail when he's lying down too. Oh, wow, that is so special in that light. So we've just got another vehicle here with us. I'm just going to reverse out of the way. Literally just reversing at the moment. I've never done a leopard track in reverse. I'm just going to let him move forward now because he needs a bit of space. It's getting a bit tight here for us. It's just a little tricky to so you can see him. So folks, you can see this beautiful behaviour of using this using these drainage lines to walk down and then popping up out of these drainage lines, and he's just going to lie down there. I'm just going to move forward a little bit. You go, mate, you go, absolutely. Yeah, it's no problem, mate. So we'll just let that other vehicle go ahead because he was the first vehicle on location, and it's really important that we have manners, and he was very, very kind to us just then to let us reverse back. He's just gone up into a tree here, and we'll just see how far he gets there, but if we can see him from here. Can you see him, Vam? Yeah. Just. Just here. And once you go and see Pete, we'll come back to you just now. All right, we'll see you now.
Well, welcome back to the Ellies. Fantastic having that leopard as well. Q, as we know, is a big favourite and a beautiful male, but also good to know that we might have him for this afternoon as well. Looks like he's going to take it easy in the tree, and we just came around to get a better view of those few Ellies earlier. As I said, there was a herd in its way. And this is the kind of view you really hope for when you think of seeing elephant drink. Whole herd spread out, all of them drinking. You can actually hear it. I'm going to be quiet for a few seconds so that you can just listen to them drinking, all that slurping and drinking. Happy elephants, and a beautiful setting here at Buffelshoek Dam. Just quietly sneak out on the side of the car here and get a very low angle view of them. Brilliant. More elephants arriving. How many you got now? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. About 18 or 20 so far. More of them arriving. Absolutely brilliant. Young ones, medium ones, large ones, small ones. There's a large female arriving there. It is a stunning herd. It's the same herd that we sat with yesterday afternoon as well. Absolutely beautiful. Female leopard tracks in this area as well. We've been sort of sticking around looking for her, and in that process, not only did we see those bull elephants earlier, but these ones now as well. There was one buffalo briefly. I'm still sort of hoping that while we're sitting here looking at these ellies, partly why I'm sort of looking around quite a bit, that gorilla might pop out. Very possible. Hello Sven, good question. Nice to be talking about ellies since we've got so many of them, and you also saw ellies on foot with Stefan earlier. Always nice to see elephants on foot. Sven, you're just wondering, and I'm glad you could join us for that drive because it was brilliant. The drive where we had that young elephant playing with us, that we, sort of my little highlight yesterday in the fireside chat as well. It really was a very special interaction with him. And you're just wondering if that elephant would or could become a problem when he grows up because he was charging us. In this case, Sven, actually quite the contrary. he was interacting with us. He was more playing with us. I mean, he was coming up to have a look at the vehicle. He did that little sort of hi-ho silver on his back legs, which was awesome. And then the whole charging and the fact that he charged back at us. So first he ran away because he suddenly realized he's on his own. But then he also turned around realizing that he's actually not afraid of us. And that was a great moment for me too. Not only was it fun to see, but also just in terms of the behavior. So he is more than likely to become a very interesting elephant. What I mean with that is as you get to know bull elephants over time, you eventually realize that, like humans, elephants have also got slightly different personalities. What a view here, huh? Stunning. And some elephants are just more curious and more interactive than others, extroverts, introverts kind of thing. And I think that young Ellie has got the potential to become a really interesting bull elephant. Do keep in mind that bulls, as they get older, they roam far and wide. So he would often be away from this area. He would also be sometimes back in the area. So he's the kind of Ellie that I would love to say, well, let's follow his life. Let's make sure we see him 2-3 times a day, and we follow him for the next 25 years and see what he gets up to, because you would sort of forge a great relationship or a great understanding with the Ellie like that. Well, that's a perfect question at the perfect time, Anna-Marie. That little Ellie, well, there's two small ones there. The one on the right-hand side, sort of backing away now on the left. Slightly older than the other one. I would put him probably at about 5 months. Other one maybe 4 months, 6 months, 5 months, something in that region. I don't think much older than 6 months for the bigger one even. So I'd say about 5 months maybe for the smaller one, maybe a bit less even. Youngsters, a little bit of luck, we might see them still playing as well. Young elephants love to be boisterous around the waterhole. I just have to sort of smile again at how lucky we are to be standing around doing this. I mean, this is just such a perfect setting. I just jumped out just to get 1 or 2 low-angle pictures of them. And this is a waterhole that I have many, many great memories, and one that keeps popping up for me this morning, and I want to share it now, is, well, we've stopped here often for sundowners or for coffee breaks. It's such a lovely place just to stop for 10 minutes, 20 minutes, stretch your legs, drink a coffee in the morning, a little sundowner in the evening. And we had this great sighting here once with Ellie's. And I remember Leishan, who's now my wife, was on the vehicle. I don't think she was directing that, she was actually camera. And we were watching these Ellies, and the next minute, we sort of almost like Brian and I had yesterday. We were watching the one thing, and then something happened behind us. And the next minute, Karula came walking past. And some of my most beautiful pictures I ever took of Karula was on that day. So I'm sort of just thinking back to that all the time. So I just sort of want to share that with you, because we could be standing here, and while there's a herd of elephant there, Karula could come and drink water suddenly and literally just be that sort of at peace, if you want, with everything going on. So it's just a memory that kept popping up. I wanted to share that with you. And what a place to be. Whoa, guys, look at this. Well, Marianne, you were asking if the one facing away is the dad. All the big elephants we could see in that herd were all females. They're just some couple of big females in that group. But this one certainly is a dad of someone somewhere. This is a big bull. And this explains two things to me. One is why that younger bull that we saw earlier, the guy with the one tusk, that was in must yesterday, probably still is in must, but his behavior was very suppressed this morning. The penile dribbling had stopped. The secretions on the temporal glands had stopped. And I was wondering if maybe there was a bigger guy around, and it certainly is the case. This guy would certainly have had that influence on the other male. He's much bigger, and therefore, even though both of them are in must, this one would be considered the dominant male. This is quite a big Ellie. This is the same one we saw. Sorry, my days really do blur into each other. 2 days ago. Brian, can you remember he was walking up the road towards us? Yeah, this is the same guy. Just looking at the tusks. I didn't recognize him specifically that day. I didn't make a note of his notches, but just looking at the tusks, and I remember especially the build of him was the same as this. So I'm sure it's the same bull. He's not particularly bulky, but he's very, very tall. Really tall shoulders, nice big head. Now he's in his sort of around his mid-30s now, sort of, I would say 33 to 37, somewhere in that range. So in sort of physically or peak condition. Yo, big guy, huh? Look at how they're all coming, almost as if to come have a look at him. Stunning. Look at them all listening. Suddenly you can hear that low rumble, communication going on. I just look at the scale difference as well. I often mention that the bulls are bigger, but a big part of it is looking at the size of the head. Just look at his head, the actual physical bulk or massiveness, I want to say. He's a very impressive looking elephant, and rightly so. That's why the big bulls in must, are searched for by the females, or vice versa. They search for the females. You want to get the biggest guys passing on their genetics, the healthiest guys, the strongest ones. Well, Glynis, this is the perfect time to answer that question for you. You were just wondering, how do you tell the sex of an elephant by the shape of his head? Well, in this case, you could tell it just from the bulk of it. As I said, if you compare the size of his head, now if we go, this is a big male, and then you look just to the left of him, the sort of big elephant facing towards the left, then moving on again. Those are all females. And if you look at her, the far left, one of those three now. She's got a very square head. Now the bull is not quite turned sideways. When he turns his head, look at that. You see how round his head is? That's a perfect example. Male on the right-hand side, female on the left. Square forehead on the female, round head on the male, but also just the size of it. Look at the female's head relatively to her body. That female actually, as for you that have been coming here for a long time, I remember that notch. Big left in the top left ear. We saw years ago. He was a bit smaller then. But there you can see the smaller head, squarer head, rounder head, much larger head for the male. That was the perfect example to answer that question. Glynis, exactly the right question on exactly the right time. Thank you. This is interesting. To see if he puts his trunk in his mouth just now. Elephants do what's called phlegm, which is something most mammals do. I just look at these two young ones just behind the bull. That's such a cool size comparison. Look at that. But phlegm is a process through which many mammals can test the reproductive state of a female. So you'll see it with zebra and kudu and impala now in the rutting season as well. They often smell the urine from the females, and you'll see them sort of lifting their lips up quite funny. With horses, people often think they're sort of laughing, sort of a movement they do, and then they can smell using a organ called a Jacobson's organ, which is like a little glandular organ almost, as an explanation. They can test the reproductive state. Is this female an estrus? Is she ready to mate? And that's what the bull was doing as well. So the fact that there's a big bull in full must around, in fact 2 bulls, we had the other one tusk around as well, that does point to the fact that one of these females in this herd are in estrus. So who knows, maybe this afternoon, maybe just now even, we could even see the mating. It's not something you see often. There's a lot of sort of ritualistic build-up around it, and it doesn't just, you know, sort of happen instantly. It can take a while for the female to decide which male it will be. But as I said, this is a big bull. He's in great condition, and he'd be a very, very suitable suitor. I think let's just go around a little bit. Let's see if we can get a better view again. It's amazing when they mate. You can see just the size difference here is incredible. I mean, that's a mature female enough that she could be an estrus, but she would be weighing maybe 2 tons. I'm just trying to gauge her size, whereas this guy would probably be 5 tons. So he'd be 2 times, maybe even as close to 3 times her weight. But elephants, when they do mate, the bull can actually support his own weight in his back legs. You might have seen images of elephant when they're standing in their back legs to reach for some high leaves or branches that you know, high up in the trees. Oh, we saw it the other day with that little baby rearing up onto his back legs. So elephants can support themselves on their back legs, and for mating that is crucial. If the bull had to support his weight on the female, he could actually injure her in the process. So if they do mate, and we'd be very, very lucky if we could see that. It would be amazing. But if they do mate, he would actually stand on his back legs and support most of his weight himself. Tiny little calf there as well. Very, very intimate behavior that we're seeing at the moment. You can feel it amongst the herd as well. Those animals, the little baby even, you can feel they're all aware of this big bull in the group. Keeping in mind, elephants have got a matriarchal society. So there's another tree that's going down for some food. So the leader of this group would be an elephant cow, would be a female. This big bull that we're watching, he wouldn't actually be part of this group on a permanent basis. Like this little one is almost, I don't want to move the car now because it might come out around to us. But it would be lovely to see this little guy on the right. He's just there. If he comes out, it'll be awesome. Look at the size difference there. You know, 1 week or 3 weeks or 4 weeks, but if I had to guess, I would say within the first, not guess, but I mean, I've seen them at very young ages make a basic trumpet. So from a very, very young age, weeks old, they can trumpet. They obviously learn you know, how to manipulate that sound better, how to manipulate. Beautiful. Texan, no updates that I know of. We've got Moontje and Love here at Buffelshoek Dam, just heading south towards Nyala Road. Makulu Madod and Manigi Mafazis. And I think that Ingwe is Lalapanzi and Sina. Oh, a late shake there. I was just texting on the radio. He's just, as I was explaining earlier, he's just stopped for a little coffee break with his guests. And they're getting moving again, so he was just checking what's where, what's been seen. This bull is listening suddenly. Gave us a little sort of mild head shake. He's also testing the breeze. He's actually smelling the air. You can feel him or see him sort of feeling his way around things he wants to smell. But he is in full must. I'm just looking at his sides. You see that sort of white area there. Even his legs, you can see that he's not, you know, it's not a sort of a short spell. He's probably been in must already for a few weeks at least, if not longer. I'll just explain to you again the must behavior. We spoke about it quite a bit yesterday. But elephant bulls, normally once a year, throughout any time of the year. There's no fixed season for it. In other words, it's not like impala where the rutting season is now and the lambing season is in November, December. With elephant, they have the young throughout the year, which also obviously means that they mate any time of the year. So it just depends on the reproductive state of individual females and the must condition or the dominant state or the hormonal state, if you want, of the males. And this guy is in that condition now called must. M-U-S-T-H. I remember the spelling correctly. And that basically refers to the condition that he's in where the testosterone levels go up substantially, 6 times normal. Obviously making them a little bit more edgy sometimes, to say the least. But again, if you behave correctly around them, it's not normally a problem. But it does make them dominant within the male society. And it does make them attractive to females that might be in estrus. There you could hear a sound from a baby Ellie. And that guy's only a couple of months old. That's the smaller one of the two that we spoke of earlier. And I know I said 6 months and 5 months, or 4 months and 5 months. And I think I'd be more inclined towards the latter of those two. I would say this guy maybe even as few as 3 months old. You can see he still fits just under mum, although she is a reasonably big cow. And that other one may be a month or so older. So perhaps even 3 months and 4 months or close to that. Well, good morning, Sherry in Ohio. Just trying to think what time it is now, 3 o'clock or 2 o'clock in the morning. Thank you for joining us still for the game drive. It's been a good morning. Leopard, elephant. And Sherry, you're just wondering if elephant can hear using their feet as well. I guess sort of loosely, you know, sort of in loose context, you could say yes. I mean, they obviously listen and hear with their ears. The feet is more feeling vibrations, which effectively is what hearing is as well. I mean, hearing is just, you know, the different little parts of our ears that feels the vibration in the air and with the sound waves, and that is translated to information. So I guess you could actually say that they can hear with their feet as well. They can certainly pick up vibrations with their feet, and there's been some interesting studies done on it, and Etosha is one of the places they've done it. Yeah, so it feels a bit odd to say so, but they could, in theory, hear with their feet. But put it this way, they can translate certain vibrations that they can feel, and they can feel it with their feet. That can be translated into information for them. You see, it's even funnier because, you know, I said the other day, English is a funny language. Any language where your nose can run and your feet can smell. And now it seems your feet can hear as well. So, yeah. Actually, I think you know what I mean. So, yeah, I didn't actually think so before you asked the question, but when I really think about it logically, hearing is really just translating sound waves, or any waves for that matter, into information. So hearing does refer, generally speaking, to ears, but, oh, look at this beautiful nyala. But they would certainly be able to feel information through their feet.
Is off on a mission. But what a beautiful sighting. When we were ground level with him there, that was really nice. Nice to see. We found him again, which is the most important thing. So I think the lovely story behind that is that this Impala's gone, so we're going to move on. The lovely story behind that is that we found the tracks. We got to a point where we couldn't find any more tracks. Then we listened to the radio. Steph had word from Andrew, and Steph was on those tracks as well, that Andrew was on cue, and we went down into the drainage. We went down to go there. We got stopped by elephants. We had to turn around, go back up into another road, down that drainage line in that sandy, dry riverbed, come to more elephants, which stopped us in our path. But Q was in the middle of those elephants, and he was lying really low, just keeping away from those elephants. Elephants, as I said, don't really like any predator, and they'll let them know that, but not that the leopard would ever really be a threat to those elephants. And then we stayed with the elephants because we had to let the elephants come out of the way before we could go down and look for him. You can't be pushing elephants, or pushing any animal for that matter, anywhere. So we had to then sit with the elephants, watch the elephants, and then I heard that there was a fantastic walk up by Steph onto a bull elephant, which is brilliant. Pete's just had some wonderful behaviour with bull elephants. It's been a bit of an elephant-tastic morning, and then we finished by finding Q lying at ground level. We were down in the riverbed, and he was right at my eye level, so it was beautiful to see. And then he got up, walked along the riverbed behind us. I reversed all the way, and that's where we left him. Beautiful encounter, fantastic. It doesn't always have to be watching them hunt. It doesn't always have to be watching them active or climbing a tree. It can just be being with them in their presence, and that's what we did today. So fantastic stuff. So I've just come up onto Sandy Patch Road here, and this little area is quite good for seeing impala behaviour. I really want to make sure that we don't drive past these animals that we see all the time, because they are really important. They're just as important as the big cats. The big cats wouldn't be here if it wasn't for them. Everything fits into this food chain or this ecosystem, and we have to make sure we acknowledge everything, as well as all these incredible plants. But I just want to go and see plants and trees. I just want to go and see. Let me show you this ever so quickly. That tree there, or that shrub or bush. It's an acacia, many different acacia species. I'm just going to hop out of the vehicle, and I just want to tell you a little bit about this particular tree or shrub. And the really important thing to note here is that this plant, it's all about modifications. Modifications on these plants are fantastic. All different trees have them. So these tiny little leaves, tiny little not microscopic, but they're very, very small. And they cut down, those small leaves cut down on transpiration, so it retains water more efficiently. But more importantly, these things here. And you can see this is the sort of quintessential acacia that has big, big thorns sticking out, and that thorn is a modified leaf. Now, if I keep this really, really still and VM comes into where my finger is just here, you can see where that little leaflet comes out, that compound leaf comes out. It's right on the same spot as a thorn. That thorn is a modified leaf. Over a very long period of time, it's modified itself and turned it into a defense mechanism to protect the plant from browsing animals like giraffe, rhinoceros, kudu, impala even, and others. So those animals they find it really difficult to get into these thorns. But then what has happened is the modifications have happened to the animals over a long period of time. That giraffe's tongue allows it to reach in here and strip that tiny bits of foliage off in between those thorns. Elephants, I can't believe they can do it, but they do it. They drag their trunk down those large thorns and strip the foliage off, more likely with the more tender young shoots at the top. But I just wanted to stop because we always drive past these plants and we think, yeah, okay, they've got thorns, yeah, whatever. But you know what? It's a very, very special thing. It's a modification that the plant has made to protect itself from browsing animals. And there's loads more to the conversation there, but it's just a good thing to note that everything has a purpose in nature. And at the end of the day, if you pick up these bits of information, you start to build a fantastic picture about the habitat that you're driving around in. Right, get my communication back in. I'd love to just find some impala for you rutting, but it's tricky. You've got to be in the right time at the right place at the right time to see them the full behaviour. But we'll see what else we can find here. Really nice to see those fresh tracks of Q this morning. Pieter's had some beautiful elephant this morning too, which really, he loves that, being in the presence of elephants. We all love it. Pete really gets this sort of calming feeling from being around them, and he spends some time. He got a really close encounter last night, he said, with a bull. He said, I had my hand on my key. I wasn't sure if I should be starting the engine or not. He said, in my heart, it said no, but he felt like he just had to have his hand on his key. He said, I haven't felt like that for some time, HT, so it was a close encounter, but at the same time, there's an intuitive, just like I talk about with Scotty and Brent and Steph with their intuition with tracking. There's an intuition you have with being in the presence of particular species as well. Obviously, you're not going to have that same sort of need for intuitive behaviour or decision making with impala or something like that, but with elephant and some of the bigger species and some of the bigger predators, you really do have that. You know whether you're in the right place or the wrong place just by their behaviour and their way they're behaving around you. And I mentioned that the other day, neuroscientists have mapped nearly all of the human brain, well, majority of it, and they've got a very, very good handle of what parts of the brain, the human brain, does what, and what synapses and what triggers happen, what occurs when we're in particular situations. One thing they can't find, and I heard a really great talk on by a neuroscientist recently, they don't know where intuition is. They really don't know where that intuitive feeling, that sort of instinct, that instinctual perception of how to make a decision is. But what a do know is we have a beautiful male impala. Let's just see if we can get a nice shot of him just there, Via. How's that for you, mate? Now, he is on the lookout, folks. I'll just roll back a bit for you. He's on the lookout for rival males, or he could be a rival male. And I've seen this, I think this is one of the ones that we saw up here yesterday, Liam, patrolling the area and drive off another male coming around. Just going to try and get a better picture for you. I mean, I just love to stop at for a simple reason that this time of the year they're, oh, sorry mate, I'll go back a bit. They're really trying to cover as much ground as they can. It's a bad shot for you there, mate. I do apologise. Rival male, and yesterday we were out here, him or another one ran out and drove another male off from the area. And eventually, if he's the most successful, he'll, oh, here we go. Here's a nice wildebeest and another male. So this impala's looking at this impala here. And there's a nice wildebeest. And this wildebeest will also turn out to be a territorial male, and he'll bunker down and try and gather as many females as he can as time goes on. We don't see many wildebeests at the moment, whereas November the place is crawling with them. When they're calving, they all come here. But this boy is just standing in the shade. As I said, he'll become a territorial male when the breeding season starts, when the females start coming back through here. And he'll just bunker down and then gather as many females as he can. But this impala ram here is looking the same direction as from the other impala that we came through. And there's lots of behaviour that goes on, lots of head throwing, and he's probably going to make his way down there. He's looking over. I'm going to reverse back here, folks, because he is going to chase this one off, I think. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Lots of behavioural posturing going on here. The other ones become subordinate for the minute, but he may turn at any second and they may engage. Lots of tail flicking and head nodding and vocalising. Just while we're watching these two posture, look at this. He's following him around. And it does become a lot like a game of just posturing and puffing out chests and tail wagging, lip licking, sorry, head nodding, all these different behaviours. And they will engage when it comes a little bit more serious. But this male at the front looks like he's got bigger horns, but he's definitely becoming more subordinate than the other. Just pushed him off to the other side there. And that was a sort of just a very, very small display of what goes on. When they engage, it is like head-to-head battle, and they can break a horn, they can do loads and loads of damage to each other. But sometimes you'll find predators. He's beautiful, isn't he? He's got loads of flies all over him, that's for sure. Very beautiful antelope. A few ear tears there. That could be anything. Could be a battle that he's had, or it could have been just caught on a bush or anything when he was young. So we'll try and catch up on more of that, and I'm sure once, I absolutely know that you'll see some fantastic rutting over the next 3 weeks with Scott and Brent and Steph. They'll really be watching that, because the battles are fierce, and it's very, very interesting to watch. They spend about a quarter of their day protecting their herd, and they really do drop their guard. And sometimes when they drop their guard, predators will use that as a potential little sort of buffer zone where they've dropped their guard so much that they're not taking any notice of their surroundings, and a predator will go in and take them out. So we've got a lovely question from Catherine in Texas. Catherine, how are you? Welcome aboard, and great to have you with us. I love Texas. I haven't been there for a while, but when I was there, I had a fantastic time. Catherine, your question is there many natural fires in the bush, and what do the animals do, or what happens to the animals? Look, there's two types of fires we have in the bush, and one fire is a purpose-lit fire, or a man-made fire, where the grass can go and the bush can go quite sour, and the grasses need to be refreshed, and that's a natural occurrence that would happen in the bush from a lightning strike. And these natural bushfires actually do clean through the bush, and you get fantastic regrowth. So we do have to manage them, and the reserve management on Savi Sands would do that, and each lodge would have their land manager or their reserve manager to do it. They would burn a block on a very, very calm day, very still, have a lot of staff on hand to make sure it's all under control. You don't want any wind blowing and it to jump the road or anything like that, and they would use these roads as a buffer zone or a fire break, and they would burn out a block. Now, I have to say, majority of the animals move on. Unfortunately, there would be some loss to invertebrates and potentially small mammals if they couldn't get down, but majority of the time they get out of the way, and they hear it coming, and will go underground and survive that. But it has to be done. It has to be done to keep and it's a natural occurring thing. Now, it doesn't just happen in Africa. In Australia, for example, fires were used by Aboriginal people for thousands of years to manage their land in that sort of way as well. But you also have natural fires from lightning strike, and it really does occur, and it's just a natural way that things get flushed out, but majority of the animals are absolutely fine and see it coming, smell smoke, etc. One thing you will find interesting, Catherine, is you'll find fork-tailed drongos, a little character of a bird. I love them bits. They're a common little resident, and there's other species as well, but they will follow a fire or stay in front of the fire as the fire burns in the trees and swoop down and gather all the little invertebrates that fly up in the air, and they get really full bellies from it. It's quite interesting to watch. The fire you think most animals would just try and get away from, fork-tailed drongos can, and a few other bird species can follow that fire with great anticipation for what's going to come out of that fire for their food. So thank you for your question, Catherine. Fantastic one. Hope Texas is sunny and shining, and I look forward to having you on board again and another question from you. Thanks a lot. Okay, folks, we're going to cross over to Pete and see what he's up to. I think they're really up to something. I could tell. I can just tell with those guys. We'll see you just now.
guys, welcome back this side. We're actually not far from where Hayden is at the moment, quite close to camp, and it's been a beautiful morning. Really has. Still nice and cool when you're moving. It's that sort of temperature you tend to get this time of year in autumn, and you get it in spring as well, where if I was to stand still now in the sun, you'd actually get warm quite quickly because the sun is nice and warm, but the ambient temperature is perfect, so the actual feel of it in your skin is very, very pleasant. It's been a great morning, fantastic elephant, great seeing Q, and curious as to what the afternoon will bring for us. I really am hoping, fingers crossed, all of the good stuff, that we could find Karula this afternoon, just because I'd like to see her. She's an awesome cat, a lot of history there. It is almost certainly her tracks that we found around Buffelshoek Dam, and there's a good chance, it's not definite, but there's a good chance that she is around that waterhole. So that's a possibility for the afternoon. And then it is almost our last drive, and I'm speaking now for myself and for HT for this visit. It's been so much fun, and we're going to talk about it and say thank you just now. But yeah, it's just been a lovely morning, and looking forward to the afternoon. Get some sleep for those of you that are up into the late hours. It's going to be a big afternoon drive. I'm sure when everything starts happening, there's going to be good entertainment for you, and good wildlife surprises, and just good moments shared amongst friends on Game Drive, which is what it really is all about. And I also know that guys on the vehicle at the moment are really into the experience that we are sharing here. So a big thank you to you guys. And let's see, maybe we still find a last little surprise out here. I can see a couple of monkeys up ahead. Question, Tom. All the way from Seattle. Tom, you're asking if if animals, of which elephants would be one, are walking through the bush, is it sort of a random just walking along and sort of see what happens, or do they know where they're going? Tom, I'm sure there's a little bit of sort of random, don't know where you're going, kind of walking around. Sometimes we do the same as humans. You know, you go to town and you don't have a specific plan, so you just sort of cruise around a little bit. But generally speaking, I do think they've got a plan. I mean, with elephant, it might be where they're going to drink later on. That determines the direction where they're feeding, where they haven't fed for a while because the food might be good. When it comes to tracking, for instance, we do a lot of tracking of lions, but especially leopard. You do know that they've got certain things in mind. They might be heading to a specific waterhole, a male leopard that's busy scent marking, because he's got his routine in certain places that he likes to scent mark to make sure that his sort of territorial boundaries are marked out properly. A female leopard might be, going somewhere specific to go and fetch a cub, and then going from there with the cub to go hide him somewhere that she knows is a safe place, or going somewhere specific to go and hunt because maybe they heard impalas. So I think the majority of the time, for any kind of animal, whether it's a predator or non-predator, big or small, there's a plan. I mean, these animals are surviving out here as well. They're not just randomly sort of, haphazardly bumbling along. There's a definite structure or plan to what they are doing. Guys, speaking of having a plan of where we're going, we're going to meet up with Hayden just up ahead. We've got a few minutes left for the morning drive. This afternoon is going to be quite a busy afternoon with the drives to NatGeoWild, North America for the television drive as well. Obviously, you guys will still be able to join us for the whole experience. And then we're going to have the fireside chat. It is Mother's Day, so we're going to talk around that a little bit. talk about a few other things, answer a few questions again. So it is going to be a lovely experience. It's going to be very busy, I'm sure. There's going to be lots of things happening. And we're not necessarily going to have that much time to say thank yous and goodbyes. And it is really nice to be able to say thank you and goodbye to everyone concerned. So we're going to just do that up ahead. I'm just going to meet up with HT there. And who knows, maybe we still find something in the process. And we'll find the wild Australian wildlife. We have a wildebeest on his car already. It's the nickname, some of you might know it. For beer. And leopard and lion into it, and you add the live aspect into it, and you add friendship into it. And that's all brilliant. I'm going to get a little picture of them coming in. There we go. Cool. I'm going to walk over there, and we're going to say goodbye to you from Hayden's vehicle, and I'll see you that side. Going?
Right. Mr. Pretorius.
I'm going to come. I just thought I'd jump in there with you.
Hello, mate. You all right?
Yeah.
Good. How's that?
Very good.
You had an amazing elephant morning, hey?
Yeah. No,
incredible.
Good morning. Very, very good morning.
Yeah, I was listening to some of it. You had the bull that followed up was showing like signs of following a female.
Yeah, no, it's actually the proper smelling and testing everything. Big bull as well. Big guy.
Fantastic.
Let me join next year so we can.
Okay.
Was that gonna? Am I putting you on the spot?
Yeah, no, that's okay. I just have to turn around this way. That's fine.
We were just chatting earlier, and it's going to be a very busy afternoon with lots of surprises, no doubt.
Yeah.
And just thought it'd be nice to say goodbye and say thank you a little bit. We hopefully will fit a little bit of it in tonight. But,
that's for sure.
You know, it's been such a privilege again to join all of everyone making it possible for us. And
for sure, mate. One of the things I haven't said today: Happy Mother's Day. All you mothers, Happy Mother's Day. I forgot this morning.
Yeah.
I rang my mum in Australia, and I forgot to say it to everyone else, but Mother's Day today is very, very special. And I tell you what, we wouldn't be here without you. So to all the mothers out there, a big hats off. It's an incredible job. Wow. It's the hardest job on the planet, and particularly with one of me or one of him.
It's also something we all have in common, is we all have a mother.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we could take that even, outside of the species.
Yeah, that's for sure.
So that is something quite special. But there's also just so many things too. I mean, I was talking about you now, obviously driving in. Don't tell him what I said. No, I'm just joking, guys. It's just been, I mean, the adventure aspect of this, I often say this, I would drive around vehicles just for the sake of driving around these lovely vehicles. Then to add, you guys into it, the whole live experience and friendship into it with you, Graham, everyone else here, it is just such a fantastic thing. And we are going to be going, myself and you, different directions. You guys can still go and drive, and once we get home, we can join you on drive as well. But there's just so much to be grateful for. Personally, from me personally, from Hayden personally, within the bigger picture of things.
Very true. It's a nice, true. The more I hang out with him, the more I start to say things that he says. So I said true last night. And then I said true, I think, on the fireside chat. So we've got another fireside chat tonight, and we would love to have you join us. It's got a bit of a theme of wild parenting, which is quite fitting for Mother's Day, and we're going to talk loads about that sort of thing tonight. Same sort of format. We'll do a lovely sort of couple of clips. We'll also do some questions, and then we'll also pick our clip of the day. And Steph is somewhere out there with Squatty and Brent. Brent is back up to make sure they're all safe and sound. And Brent, Steph sound, they had a really lovely encounter with an elephant.
I saw it briefly on the way through. Yeah,
beautiful.
And Karula.
Yeah,
that would be a personally and for everyone else, I know that would be, my hands would be doing this for a while if we find Karula.
Yeah.
And obviously with the Mother's Day thought in mind as well, she is the Queen of Juma, as people refer to her, and with, it is meant.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
and she's around Buffelshoek Dam area. So
Really? All the way over there?
Tractor from Chirakatlan around, down. She's in that area almost certainly. I mean, we couldn't find at the time. There were also lots of Ellies around. So
Yeah.
Brent walked around. I joined him for a bit. Couldn't follow too far because there were just 2-3 different herds of elephants. So
There's loads of Ellies around. There's a massive herd down in Twin Dams Way, which we came across. We found Q this morning.
Yeah,
Yeah,
brilliant.
we had a beautiful visual of him on eye level. We were in the drainage line, and he was lying down right next to us. And then he went and laid behind my vehicle again. Doesn't want us to go.
I want to do a quick, because Hayden can say goodbye for us at the end, but just a very quick thank you to every single person on the ground here. I mean, the guys who work closer together with, the camera guys, trackers, Scott and them getting out there and doing all kinds of things. It's been a pleasure to meet Stefan as well, and Brent, and then of course all the crew guys. There are so many people that work really hard, and I don't want to see behind the scenes. They are in the scenes, you just don't see them. So a huge thank you from me and HT. I speak for you as well.
Absolutely.
For you guys that are part of this around the world, that seriously, without you, we wouldn't be doing this. That's a big pleasure. And of course, the Juma Game Reserve, Yuri Moorman and them, the owners. Guys, thank you very much for allowing us into your house.
Yeah.
And for allowing us this beautiful window into lovely nature.
Oh, yeah. It's just everything that Pete said, I'm not going to say again, because I just echo that hugely. And it's heartfelt thanks to everyone involved. I mean, this is our sort of last online drive or second last, I should say. And we head off tomorrow.
For a little while.
Yeah, a little while. I want to say thank you to you all for this morning and being on board. First-time participants, you're going to get hooked. You'll be bitten by this bug, I tell you that. And if you're a returning visitor, great to see you. We'll see you this afternoon, same time. We've got a fireside chat. We can't wait to see you. You never know what's around the next corner. We'll see you just now.
Cheers, guys.